In reality, you really don't have any memory of him saying anything at all, do you?
Well, when we got there, it was a discussion.
Okay. And
how it was going to happen.
And you don't remember who said it, but your testimony is that when you're at McCormick's apartment on January 15th, there is developed this plan between the three of you that Leroy Whitaker is going to jump out of the car and run down Charles McCormick, right?
Right.
And that he's got this big old gun that he's going to accomplish, right?
Correct.
Leroy Whitaker never gets out of the car, does he?
No, ma'am.
Leroy Whitaker never shot anybody, did he? On January 15th, 2020, Leroy Whitaker did not shoot a person, did he?
No, ma'am.
He did not pull a trigger, did he?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever provide your phone to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Well, it was at the house when I got arrested.
Well, once you decided to cooperate, why didn't you want to provide that for him?
It was gone.
Well, you want the state of Florida and law enforcement to believe everything you're saying, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, that's pretty critical for your future, right?
Yes, ma'am.
One would think you'd want to do everything you could, right?
Right.
But you didn't, right?
With what?
Your phone.
It was already gone.
Oh, it was gone.
Correct.
Okay. You are, according to you, sir, a changed man, correct?
Correct.
You are now Muslim?
Yes, ma'am.
You see things differently?
Yes, ma'am.
Previously, in your mind, you didn't understand why there was all this gun violence, right? Just didn't understand it, right?
Well, I understood it.
You understood it because you were doing it, right?
Correct.
But now you have empathy, you have mercy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
According to you?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Are you prepared to do cross, or do we need a recess? Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and move forward then with cross for Mr. Robinson. And just for scheduling purposes and for the jury's benefit, this is our last witness for the day. So, just to let you all know.
May it please the court?
Yes.
Judge. Mr. Barner, I want to start by talking about how it is that you have ended up in this courtroom testifying for the state of Florida, okay? I'm going to go over some stuff that Ms. Slacks went over already, but I may go into some further detail about it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as you sit here right now, you have been in jail for over 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
That's because you were incarcerated since January 15th of 2020, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That was the day that you helped execute Charles McCormick, right?
Right.
And the only reason Charles McCormick was murdered was because of you, right?
And other people.
Well, let's break that down. You did not like the lyrics of the song that he put out, right?
Right.
You saw the post on his Instagram account, right?
Right.
You decided you wanted to kill him, right?
Right.
You started this, right?
I want to say I started it.
Well, it started with your irritation with his song lyrics, did it not?
It irritated everybody.
Okay, I'm not talking about everybody else. I'm talking about you.
Yeah,
It irritated you.
correct.
That caused you to go on Instagram, right?
Right,
And now you sit here in front of this jury and you have a deal from the state of Florida, right?
right,
And as part of that deal is you have to sit here in front of these juries and say that Hakeem Robinson was the shooter, right?
correct.
Now, you would agree with me that when you make an agreement with someone and you get a benefit or a discount, like, you know, a price cut in half, that's something we call a deal, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're getting a good deal, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
A sweet deal from the state of Florida, right?
I want to say sweet deal.
Well, let's go through that. Because you're not only getting a deal on the murder of Charles McCormick, right?
Correct.
There is another case in which you're getting a deal on, right?
Right.
Charles McCormick is not the first person you have tried to kill, right?
Correct.
How old are you again now?
31.
So at the time when this took place 5 years ago, you were in your mid-20s, right?
Right.
And you had 2 dead bodies under your belt that we know of, right?
Correct.
Now, the person you killed was Mr. Rothamel, right?
I didn't kill Mr. Rothamel.
Okay. You and Chris Brown, right,
Correct.
went out to try and kill P Money, right?
Right.
And the reason why you tried to kill P Money was it was the belief of Blue that P Money was the one behind the Willie Addison murder, right?
Correct.
That's who they believe did it, right? And so you were going out there. Mr. Rothamel was not the target, was he?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you go out with Chris Brown, right,
Right.
to hunt down P Money, right?
Correct.
At the behest of Abdul Sr., right?
No.
He wanted him dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he provided you with the car to commit that murder, right?
Right.
He provided you with the firearm to commit that murder, right?
Right.
Okay, so he gave you everything you needed to kill P Money. But he made sure he wasn't there, right?
Right.
Has you doing his dirty work for him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had no problem doing that.
No.
Now, there was a shootout, right?
Right.
And you got shot. Yes?
Yeah.
But in that shootout, an innocent bystander on a bicycle died, right?
Right.
P Money didn't die.
No.
And you even said, you know, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're blaming the victim because of what you did, right?
I didn't blame him.
Okay, you didn't blame him being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Seems as if you're like, well, you know, his fault. He shouldn't have been there, right?
No, I wouldn't say that.
All right. Now, isn't it true that you are willing to hurt people as long as someone is willing to pay?
Back then, yes.
Okay, and we are talking about that back then,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? And whether that's by a promise of money or a promise of freedom. If you're getting a benefit, you're okay with hurting other people back then, because you're a changed man now, right?
Right.
So I want to delve into the details of this deal you made. So, and Ms. Sachs went over this, and I think she did a great job. Because in Florida, right,
Right.
what you did in that other case was first-degree premeditated murder, correct?
Correct.
We're talking about the Rothamel case, right?
Right.
The evidence they had against you and what you did qualified as first-degree premeditated murder, right?
Right.
And if Blue had given you, like you've testified on the oath today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You say you're telling us the truth, right?
Right.
And then if he had provided you with the tools that you needed to kill P Money, he should also have been charged with first-degree murder, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Well, you understand the laws of principle, right?
Right.
Because in the Charles McCormick case, you didn't pull the trigger, right?
Right.
But you were charged as a principal.
Correct.
So, because you drove them to the scene, right?
Right.
Because you knew what was going to happen, right?
Right.
You are just as responsible as everybody else, right?
Correct.
So if Blue gives you the car to kill P Money, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Gives you the gun to kill P Money, right?
Right.
He's done something to assist you, right?
Right.
And knew what was going to happen, right?
He didn't know what was going to happen.
Also, your testimony today is that Blue had no idea.
That day, he didn't.
Oh, the day, but he did know that that is what that's what your
Yeah,
intentions were.
Yeah, we was, yeah.
Right,
We
and
had intentions, but that day he didn't know.
okay, but you don't need to know that day. As long as he knows that's what you're going to do and he gives you the tools to do it, that's enough, right?
Right.
Okay. So if Blue comes in here now going, I never gave him the guns and the car, he's lying, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And of course, if he doesn't know, then he can just be arrested for accessory after the fact, right?
Right.
Because that's actually what he was accused in the case that you have with Rothamel, right?
Right.
So, as we discussed before, first-degree premeditated murder, you take a plea to that or you are found guilty, there is no discretion. You will die in prison, right?
Right.
You're not going to leave that prison cell unless it's in a pine box, right?
Right.
Because in Florida, we don't have parole. Life is life. Now, what they did for you in that case is they allowed you not to plead to first-degree murder. They reduced the charges for you, right?
Correct.
Okay. They reduced it down to second-degree murder, right?
Right.
Now, even though that's all they charged you with, that's not all you're guilty of, are you?
No, ma'am.
Because you were in possession of a firearm, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to have firearms, are you?
No, ma'am.
You could have been charged with possession of a firearm by someone that was adjudicated delinquent, right?
Correct.
And what does that carry with it?
5 years.
No, 15 years in state prison.
Oh.
Okay. And the possession of the firearm alone carries a 3-year minimum mandatory under that charge, right?
Right.
But now in Rothamel, you fired your firearm, right?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you didn't. You just got shot.
Yes, ma'am.
But you had a gun with you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you're saying you didn't shoot the gun.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't shoot no gun.
Because if you had been accused or they believed you shot the gun, now you have an additional 25-year minimum mandatory, right?
Right.
So you got a full free pass on the possession of the gun, right? In fact, you have none of that. In none of your plea or any charges, you're not in any way charged with possession of a firearm by someone adjudicated delinquent. You don't have those charges, right?
No.
And you possessed a firearm in Charles McCormick,
Yes, ma'am.
and you had a gun in the other one. So they just gave you a free full pass on that.
Well, I didn't have a gun in the Rothamel case.
You did when Blue handed you the gun. Did he put it in your hand?
No.
You never touched a gun.
He gave it to me, but he didn't hand it directly to me.
What did he do? He put it on the floor and then you picked it up?
No, it was in the car. The car that
Okay,
he gave.
did you ever touch it or you never touched it?
Yeah, I touched it.
Okay, even if you touch it, that's actual possession, which means you get the 3-year minimum mandatory, right?
Right.
And even if you're just around it, convicted people can't be around firearms, right?
Right.
So, so we've got those 2 cases that are covered by your plea agreement, which don't encompass all the charges that they just chose not to charge you with. You also have the burglary with an assault or battery, right?
Right.
And you were facing life on that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's because burglary with an assault or battery is a first-degree felony, what we call a PBL. You know what PBL means, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What does it mean?
Punishable by life.
And now, even though you were also charged with home invasion robbery, right?
Right.
But that was for the exact same thing. The burglary with assault or battery kind of is like the same thing as home invasion robbery, right?
Right.
So they wouldn't have been able to prove that anyway. Right? So they changed the charge to burglary with assault or battery for you to plead to. You pled guilty to burglary with assault or battery, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, you're charged with that because you went into Barbara Buckley's home without her permission, right?
Right.
You terrorized her, didn't you?
Right.
You put your hands around her throat, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you choked her in her own home.
Yes, ma'am.
We know that you applied at least some force and pressure because you were able to leave your skin cells on her neck for the DNA. Right?
Right.
She asked you to leave. She even said that. You guys, get out of my house. Right?
Correct.
You didn't follow that instruction. Instead, you tried to scare her into thinking you might kill her if she didn't comply, right?
Right.
You can imagine how terrifying that must have been for her, right?
Right.
But you just wanted to get away. So your plea agreement covers the 3 separate cases, the cases they know about as you sit here today under the state subpoena. You have immunity from anything you testify to in here today, right?
Can you explain that?
I will. So Florida statute says that any time that the state issues a subpoena for someone to come to court, within that subpoena is automatic immunity, okay? So that anything you say here can't be used later to prosecute you for something, right?
Right.
So if you were to commit perjury in front of these juries right now, you're getting a free pass on that, right?
Okay, let me see counsel and court reporter at sidebar. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Okay, so now Mr. Barner, going back. So in the shooting with the Mr. Rothamel, right? In that case, they allowed you to plead to second-degree murder, right? They also...
I'm sorry, I need y'all to be quiet when you're coming into the courtroom. Thank you. Why don't you just wait, Ms. Kawasa, while everyone gets seated so that we don't have any further distractions.
No problem, Judge.
All right, you may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Okay. So in this case, too, as well, with Charles McCormick, right? They're doing the same thing for you as well. You're not pleading to first-degree murder. Well, you've already pled, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You already entered into a written plea agreement, a contract with the state, right?
Right.
And that case, they've also agreed to reduce that to second-degree murder, right?
Right.
Even though we know you committed a first-degree murder, right?
Right.
Now, as we discussed before, as Ms. Schlax brought out, the bottom of your guidelines, what that means is that if you were to plead to second-degree murder, it's no longer life. Your guidelines are 41 months in state prison, right? Minus what you've already done.
41 years.
Oh, did I say months? You're right. 41 years in state prison, right?
Right.
But they're going even a step further for 2 dead bodies, right? They, if you satisfy them, right, will come to court at your sentencing and make a recommendation to Judge Salvador to sentence you to 20, right?
Right.
Now, you've already done 5, right?
Correct.
But you also get gain time, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Because there's no minimum mandatory, right?
Right.
So you don't do every single day of 20 years. You get 2 to 3 months off for each year you do, right?
Right.
You have any probation after that?
Not that I know of.
You didn't plead to any probation?
I wouldn't know that.
You would. It's in your plea agreement.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the objection.
So there's a possibility that you could get 20 and the court could incorporate something more, right?
Right.
Now, without their recommendation, though, it doesn't even open the door for Judge Salvador to even think about giving you 20 years, right? Yes?
Say that again.
Unless they give a good recommendation and they say, Your Honor, we believe that you should go below the bottom of the guidelines. The state is satisfied that he has met the criteria of a cooperating witness. If they don't recommend that, right, you need their help to make that recommendation. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's interesting because your case is in front of Judge Salvador, right?
Right.
So you got to push on a show today, don't you? She's the judge that's going to sentence you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the people who are, I just want to make it clear, who you provided information against in the David Rothamel case, right?
Right.
Because it was because of you that everybody ended up getting arrested, right?
Right.
You kind of came in and goes, I'm going to solve that mystery for you guys, right?
Right.
And you threw Abdul Sr. in there, right?
Right.
Because of you, he was charged with that, right?
Right.
You also threw Derek Hudson in there, right?
Right.
You also threw in Chris Brown, right?
Right.
Now, how old is Chris Brown?
He's 31.
Your age, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you're 5'7"?
Yes, ma'am.
He's taller than you, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He's about 5'10", 5'11"?
I want to know the exact height.
But he's taller than you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He also had twisties and dreads in his hair, didn't he? Before he got arrested after you told on him?
I want to know.
You don't remember? You don't remember what his hair was like even though he was there on the day of the murder of Charles McCormick?
You said when he got locked up.
Okay, well, when he got locked up, he had dreads, right?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. But at the time, he did have hair on his head. He couldn't have been bald.
Yeah, he had hair on his head.
He had hair on his head, right? And he's skinny, right?
He's slim. Yeah.
He's slim. All right. Now, those aren't the only people. You also decided to throw your girlfriend under the bus, right?
Yeah.
Janera Smith, the girl you were living with, right?
Right.
You decided to say, guess what? She was involved in that case with me too, right?
Right.
Now, we're going to get more into the issue with Janera Smith in a moment. I want to talk about the Jermaine Dubose situation. Okay, hold on one sec. I got one to over all of that. Now, I know that the state and you have been keep saying that, you haven't been promised anything, right?
Right.
But if you testify that it was not Hakeem Robinson that was the shooter, you don't get the deal. If you say it was someone else, you don't get a deal. Right?
Right.
And I know you said it previously with Ms. Schlack, that you're saying, well, I have to tell the truth, right?
Right.
That's what I'm going to tell the truth here today, right?
Correct.
But let's talk about what the truth actually means to you, okay? I'm going to talk about the history of the times that you have lied and that they know about it, okay?
Okay.
And we're not just talking about lying in everyday setting like, regular people. I'm talking about you have lied in a bunch of different court proceedings, right? Depositions, right?
Right.
And I'm not talking about depositions in our case. I'm talking about depositions in the Jermaine Dubose case, right?
Right.
Everybody got together, the lawyers for everybody, and put you under oath, didn't they?
Right.
Same oath you took today, right?
Right.
In front of the presence of the state attorneys. And you lied under oath, right?
Right.
You didn't care about the truth then, did you?
No, ma'am.
You lied to detectives before, right?
Right.
You have lied to state attorneys before, right?
Right.
And even when they know that you lied in those depositions, right?
Right.
Put that aside and still let you testify against Jermaine Dubose, right?
Yeah, at the hearing, yes, ma'am.
It didn't matter to them that they knew that you had committed perjury, did it?
No.
And nothing prevents you from lying here today, does it? We just have to take your word for it, right? That's a question.
What was the question?
We just have to take your word for what you say today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I want to also go into issues of perjury, because you've gotten impasses on those as well, right?
Right.
Perjury is lying under oath, correct?
Correct.
It's not just misdemeanors. That's not a misdemeanor charge, right?
Right.
If you lie, for example, in the investigation of a homicide, you could be charged with a first-degree felony, right? Or you don't know.
I don't know.
And that's because you've never been charged with perjury, right?
Right.
Even though they know you did it, right?
Right.
Over and over again, right?
Right.
I mean, it won't look too good to this jury if you've had like 4 or 5 perjury convictions, would it?
No.
And the only ones who decide whether you get charged with perjury or not are the state attorneys. And they chose not to do it, right?
Correct.
Now, kind of like Torgon Williams. That's a name that we've heard throughout this case, right? He is someone that was directly involved in the murder of Charles McCormick, correct?
Correct.
They haven't charged him with it, right?
Right.
He's been roaming free for the past 5 years, right? As far as you know.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Because you've been in jail for the past 5 years.
Right.
And you told them all about Torgon Williams' involvement and everything that he did back in 2020, right?
Right.
But they didn't take your word for it because he was never arrested.
Yeah, it's sustained.
He was never arrested. He hasn't been arrested, has he?
No.
For the murder of Charles McCormick?
No.
So, going back to Jermaine Dubose. Jermaine Dubose, he is the one that killed your best friend, Christopher Bing, right?
He wasn't my best friend.
Christopher Bing was not your best friend?
No, ma'am.
Okay. But Dubose tried to kill you, right?
Right.
You were hanging out in an apartment complex, and he came out around a corner with an assault rifle and fired at you and your friend, right?
And what are the grounds? Yeah, I'm going to have to hear counsel's argument on this matter, so I'm going to
May I proceed, Your Honor?
As soon as the court reporter's ready, just a minute.
I'm so sorry.
Okay?
Ready? Yeah.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So in that case, you were the victim, right?
Right.
Someone tried to kill you, right? And that didn't matter to you, though. You lied anyway to the police, right?
Right.
Then you lied to all the lawyers, right?
Right.
You lied to the prosecutors, right?
Right.
Because you wanted him to go free so you could kill him yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's an example of you are using the court system to get what you want, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You use the court system to try and exact revenge on Jermaine DuBose, right?
Correct.
And now you're using the court system again to get out of your murder cases, right? To not die in prison, right?
Right.
And in order to do that, you have to say Hakeem Robinson is a shooter, right?
To tell the truth.
The question, and what you claim as your truth in this courtroom today is that Hakeem Robinson is the shooter, right?
Correct.
Okay, going now to Mark Clayton, right? He was your best friend, correct?
No.
He wasn't, you didn't
Close.
consider him a brother?
He's a close friend.
Close friend of yours, right?
Yeah.
And you were both arrested together.
Correct.
And in order for you to get probation, you decided to say, it wasn't me, it was Mark Clayton, right?
Well, it was both of us.
I understand, but you, because of you, he ended up staying in jail, and you got out on probation, right?
Correct.
And I know Ms. Schlacks brought up that you were like, well, you know, I kind of told him I was going to recant, but this or that. You ended up fleeing to Las Vegas, right, with your girlfriend,
Right.
while you were on probation.
Correct.
Okay, now let's talk about one of the murder cases. One of the names that I didn't mention that's in that Jermaine DuBose case, there's another co-defendant, right? His name's Shanard Cannon, right?
Right.
Now, he is a part of a group called 300, right?
Correct.
You are a part of 300, right?
Correct.
You're not a part of ATK.
No, ma'am.
You consider that group a brotherhood, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That brotherhood also includes Blue, right?
No.
300 is not a part of Blue?
No.
I'll get back to that. Now, Blue has a bunch of children, right? How many of them do you know about?
I can't give you a specific number.
But it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And to be clear, Hakeem has nothing to do with 300, right?
No.
You and Hakeem Robinson weren't close at all, right?
At a point, we got close.
So if we get your phone records, there should be a bunch of phone calls between you guys, right?
Right.
Okay, so if we pull your phone records, there's going to be calls between you and Hakeem Robinson on that phone.
Possibly, yes, ma'am.
Possibly. Okay, if the calls happened and you guys were talking all the time, they'll be there, right?
Right.
Oh, but wait, we don't have your phone because it mysteriously disappeared after you got arrested, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But nothing stops them from getting your phone records, correct?
Right.
Now, we discussed already, P Money is part of the group called 6 Block, right?
Correct.
As Mr. Cooper already laid out, 6 Block does not like ATK, right?
Right.
And as it relates to the Rothamel murder that involves you, Blue, Chris Brown, and your girlfriend, Janera Smith, Hakeem Robinson is no way, shape, or form involved with that at all, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And we already spoke about the Willie Addison murder, right? That was a year before, correct?
Of.
Of the killing of Charles McCormick.
Correct.
So that's 2019, right?
Right.
And we've already established Willie Addison is not biologically related to Hakeem Robinson, right?
Correct.
It's Blue's stepson, right?
Right.
one of the girls that he was dating, he just happened to basically start taking care of her son. It's not his, right?
Right.
So they're not related. Hakeem Robinson and Willie Addison.
No.
And in that car, Hakeem Robinson was not in that car, right? Of the shooting of Willie Addison.
No.
But Blue was shot, right?
Right.
Torgon Williams was shot multiple times, right?
Right.
And Kareem was shot in the head, right?
Right.
And other people in the car were shot, right?
Right.
Now, in that case, after the murder took place, right, you got shot, right?
Right.
And then you were able to leave the scene, right?
Right.
And Janera Smith came to help you, right?
Right.
And Blue also came to help you, right?
Right.
Blue actually gave you money, right?
Right.
And stuff you needed to get out of town, right?
Right.
And you and Janera, literally, with the bullet still in your leg, decided to leave town for months, right?
No, ma'am.
How long were you gone?
Less than a week.
Less than a week. Is that what Janera Smith is going to tell me?
Well, we booked the hotel for 5 days.
Right? And you went as far down south as where?
Melbourne.
Okay, all the way down there. And then you ran out of money, right?
Correct.
The money that Blue had given you.
Yeah.
So, in the McCormick case, Blue helps you get away from Barbara Buckley's house, right?
Correct.
Helps you get rid of your clothes, right?
Right.
Helps get rid of all this evidence, right?
Right.
And he also helped you in the McCormick case, right? Helped you and Chris Brown, though. Right?
No.
He didn't, Chris Brown wasn't there? Oh, no, that's right. You actually assumed at one point that Chris Brown was dead, right?
Right.
But he ended up showing up and you realized he was alive.
Well, no. I had got word that he was still alive.
But Blue is the one that helped you then to get away, right?
Right.
And then helped you again in Charles McCormick's case to get away, right?
Right.
And Janera Smith, too, that's kind of what she did in the Charles McCormick case, right?
No.
Okay, so Janera Smith, you were living with her at the time, right?
Right.
And in the McCormick case, you end up going back to your house at some point, right?
Right.
You're getting nervous because you realize someone saw your tattoo, right? Didn't you guys pack up your stuff and get ready to go in your car, right? To leave.
No.
Where were you going?
We was going to Family Dollar.
And then to do what after that?
Go back to our apartment.
To do what?
Cook.
So, you had just finished executing Charles McCormick, right? And what you were going to do that evening was go back and have a nice dinner with your girlfriend?
Correct.
Okay. But before you could get back home, JSO was on top of you guys, right?
Right.
You didn't get that far. You got pulled over, right?
Right.
But they accused Janera Smith of fleeing and eluding because she didn't stop the car, right?
Right.
You both got arrested that night.
Correct.
She arrested for fleeing and eluding, and you got arrested. They beat you that night, right?
Correct.
They put a gun in the back of Janera Smith, didn't they? Told her to stop screaming when they were beating you, right?
I don't know.
But she was let go that night because she was only charged with fleeing and eluding, correct?
She got released the next day.
Next day. But you remained in custody.
Correct.
And so, before she was out for the whole 9 months before Hakeem Robinson got arrested, right?
Correct.
Because she was arrested the same day or around the same time Hakeem Robinson was, because that's when you decided to implicate her in the Rothermel case, right?
Right.
And you had been talking to her on the phone while you were in jail, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, if anything, she had access to the internet, right? Everything that was going on with the case, and she was talking to you, correct?
Correct.
Now, eventually, when you flee with Janera on the Rothermel case, you got to come back. You ran out of money, right? And you had to get some work on your knee. Is that right? It was starting to bother you.
Right.
And did they pull, when you went to the hospital, they pulled the bullet out of your leg, right?
Correct.
Now, Janera knew that you were involved with that case, right?
Yes, ma'am.
She knew that you had been involved in the murder of Mr. Rothamel, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she never came forward, did she?
No.
In fact, when you went to the hospital, isn't it true that police were called out there because you had a bullet in your leg, right?
Correct.
And anytime anyone has a bullet wound, it's mandatory. They have to call the police, right? And you lied to the detectives about how you got shot, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You told them about you were in Lake City and some fight broke out and you got shot, correct?
Correct.
And Janera Smith told that lie for you as well, didn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
The both of you came together with a little plot to come up with this story to tell law enforcement so that you would not get caught, right?
Right.
And she went along with your plan, didn't she?
Yeah.
Isn't it true that you threatened Gennaro?
Threatened her.
You threatened her about whether or not she should come forward.
I don't recall.
No or yes?
I don't recall threatening her
Okay.
to come forward.
No, to not come forward. Like, don't snitch on me and Blue.
I never told her that.
But what would happen to her if she snitched on you or Blue?
Yeah, I'm going to sustain.
Okay, and so let's now go into the details of the murder of Charles McCormick. You did not know Charles McCormick, right? He was a stranger to you before this song was released.
Well, he's somebody that I knew of.
Pardon me?
I knew of him.
You knew of him, but you weren't friends.
No.
You didn't hang out together, right?
No.
And then he released that song that we just listened to, right?
Correct.
And we discussed already that Charles McCormick is part of the same group as P Money, the one that Blue hates, right?
Yeah.
Now, you would agree with me in this day and age, you are a little older than everybody else, but things are a little different nowadays. You'd agree with me in the music industry, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Before, we wouldn't be able to just put out a song. You would have to get signed by a record label, right? Nobody had access to the internet. There was no internet. If you didn't get signed to a record label, then your music doesn't make it on the radio and no one hears it, right?
Right.
But nowadays, if you create a song, if you want, you could create a YouTube page and just put it out there, right?
Right.
And you would agree with me, like YouTube, for example. If a song goes viral and people start watching and clicking and viewing, that's how people make their money, right?
Right.
And so you don't really need a record label anymore. You could try to do it on your own and hope that people, start watching and listening to your music, right?
Correct.
And you testified on direct that there's something called diss tracks, right? Where people sing about things that may, other people may find distasteful, but disrespectful to other groups, right?
Right.
But you'd agree with me that when you do something so shocking like that, like sing a song about shooting someone else, you're probably going to get more clicks and views, right?
Maybe.
And Charles McCormick did just that, right?
Right.
He sang, and we heard some lyrics that he sang about discussing the murder of Willie Addison, right?
Correct.
What was the clip that was played? Something about blowing out Willie Addison's head? Was that what it was? You remember the lyric that we listened to?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Say he was smoking Willie.
He said he smoked Willie. So he's putting out into the music industry that he killed Willie Addison, right?
No.
So what
Said
does
he's-
smoking on Willie mean?
He's just he dissing the deceased person, saying he's smoking on him. He's not saying he physically killed him though.
Okay, but didn't he say things in that song about that murder that he knew nothing about, right?
Right.
Okay. So he's singing about an incident that was highly covered on the media here in Jacksonville, right? The shooting of Willie Addison was a big thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Even Blue went on the news when that happened, saying how frustrated he was with JSO and why no one had been caught, right?
I don't know.
And But there's no question Charles McCormick had nothing to do with that, but he still put a song about that very popular incident, right?
Right.
And it's probably because he wanted to get people to listen to the song, right?
Right.
And you did not like that. It angered you so much that you decided that you wanted to take his life, right?
Right.
Someone that you had never met before, right? In person.
In person, right.
He didn't disrespect Hakeem Robinson in that song, did he? He didn't say Ksoo's name in that song?
No.
He didn't mention anything about Hakeem, right?
No.
That's because Hakeem was not in the car in that shooting, right?
Right.
He disrespected Blue's son. That's who he disrespected, right?
Right.
And you were super close to Blue, right? Blue was like a father figure to you growing up, wasn't he?
No.
You wouldn't say that?
No.
He wasn't around? You didn't know him from you were a child?
Yeah, he wasn't a father figure though.
Because he was what? Gone for quite some time?
Yeah.
So there was a period of time in Jacksonville that he was not around.
Right.
He was your father's best friend though, right? Before he passed away?
No.
He was not.
No.
Your father was murdered, right?
Right.
Now, aren't there certain times that Blue would give you a place to live?
Yeah.
He had a trailer, didn't he?
Right.
Where he'd let you live, right?
Right.
You, Chris Brown, right?
No.
Chris Brown was never there?
He was there. He didn't stay there.
Okay. Janera Smith has spent the night there too, right?
Right.
Now, weeks before the murder, we talked about you looked up Charles McCormick's address on Core, right?
Correct.
You're saying that, and you testified on direct that this took place in December, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we can't figure out you can't remember which day it was, right?
Right.
You're aware that Hakeem Robinson was in California for most of December, right? If he knows.
If he has personal information, if not, then it would be sustained.
Were you aware of that?
No.
However, if you all were together and communicating here in Duval County, there should be records of that on the phone, right?
Correct.
I went over that. Going through, so go over things I've gone already, Judge. Okay, now you say that when you got this information, there's two people you sent it to, right? You sent it to Kareem, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you sent it to Chris Brown too, right?
Right.
He shared the same desire that you did to kill Charles McCormick, right?
Right.
So much so that you and Chris Brown, on your own, the two of you, go out to stalk Charles McCormick, right?
Right.
Now, on the day of the murder, when you guys had done that in the middle of the night to go to his apartment, you and Chris Brown alone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You are now placing Chris Brown at the scene of the murder, aren't you? On the day of.
Not the scene of the murder.
Okay, well, you're placing him around the victim's home, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if anything and they look up his phone records, he's going to be pinging there, right?
Right.
And at this time, you were taking drugs, right?
Right.
You were smoking weed and doing Molly, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you claim after you and Chris Brown go and do that, you come back to your apartment, right?
Correct.
No sleep, still awake.
Right.
And at 4 a.m. you say Kareem comes to pick you up. Kareem comes to pick you up, right?
Well, I called him at 4 o'clock in the morning.
You called him at 4 a.m. Said, let's do this, right?
Right.
But you called Kareem. You didn't call Hakeem Robinson, right?
No.
You didn't call Leroy Whitaker, right?
Right.
Now, you jump in the car, you have your firearm, right?
Right.
You Glock 22, 23?
Correct.
You're not supposed to have that gun, right?
Right.
Where'd that gun come from? You didn't buy it.
No.
Where'd it come from?
I traded it
Traded what for what?
for a Glock 19.
Okay, so how many guns did you have at that time in your house?
I can't recall.
Was it more than one?
Yes, ma'am.
Multiple firearms that you were not allowed to have, right?
Right.
So then you go and you say that you go to a different location, and your testimony was that you guys were originally in a Dodge Journey. Now, on direct examination, you said that that's Hakeem's car, right?
Yeah.
That's Kareem's car, right?
Well, to my knowledge, it was Hakeem's car.
When you say to your knowledge, what made you believe that the car belonged to Hakeem?
You keep a rental car.
Okay, he keeps a rental car. How many different rental cars have you seen him with?
A bunch.
A bunch. You don't know if he rented that car, right?
He never rented it himself.
So it's not his car. Whoever rented it, it's theirs, right?
Right.
And it's Kareem's car. But today you're saying it's Hakeem's, right? But you don't really know who rented the car, correct?
Well, he tell me his mama rents the cars.
He says that his mom rents cars. Did he say his mother rented a Dodge Journey for him and that this was this car?
No.
Okay, you're just guessing and assuming, right? When you say a statement like that, you assumed that the Dodge Journey was his, right?
Right.
So then you claim that you then go to another location and pick up the Nissan Altima, right?
Right.
Now, it's your testimony today that that's the first time that you'd ever seen that car?
No.
Oh, it's not, right?
No.
You've seen that car before, right?
Right.
That car you guys have been using for 2 months, right?
I don't know the exact number of months.
But it's been a while, and you guys have been in and out of that car, right?
Right.
That car has been at your apartment before, hasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you all say you jump in that car. It's still now early. You've been awake all night on Molly and weed, right?
Right.
But you're able to clearly testify about all these details today, though, right?
Right.
So you then go, you get to the location, and you're all sitting in your cars, right? I mean, in the Nissan, correct? And once again, Chris Bound pops up, doesn't he?
When?
When you guys return with the Nissan. Right before the murder, your testimony is that Chris Brown was there, right?
Yeah, at McCormick's residence, yeah.
At McCormick's residence. So Chris Brown's phone will be pinging there, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Someone else was there too. Torrigon Williams, right?
Right.
Kareem was there too, right?
Right.
Okay. And Kareem and Torrigon basically did the exact same thing, correct? It's in terms of their involvement in this murder, right?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Their level of involvement is the same. Torrigon Williams and Kareem. If it's not, let me know. Do you think one is more involved than the other?
Oh, you saying them together?
Yeah, Kareem and Torrigon, like
Yeah.
they're kind of on the same.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did the same thing, right?
Right.
But Kareem got arrested and Torrigon didn't.
Correct.
So you're sitting there now for 3 to 4 hours, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You got your phone on you?
No.
You don't have your phone on you? You left your phone? Did you have your phone when you went into Barbara Buckley's house?
Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
I think you're saying here today.
Oh, no, I know you don't have a phone here today.
Oh,
On the day of the murder,
yeah.
you had your phone with you, right? You guys are sitting in the car for 3 to 4 hours waiting, stalking Charles McCormick, waiting for him to come out, right?
Correct.
You've got your phone, right?
Right.
You're all up on your phone doing things?
Yeah.
Leroy Whitaker in the back all up on his phone doing things?
I can't recall.
You can't recall if he was on his phone.
He was doing things on his phone.
Was he on his phone?
I can't recall.
Okay. Hakeem Robinson on his phone?
I don't remember.
What his phone look like? Hakeem.
He had an iPhone.
An iPhone. What color?
I don't remember.
What did it have a case?
Yeah.
Okay, what color was the case?
It was clear. It was a clear case.
Clear case, so you could see through the back to what was the color of the iPhone then? Because you can get white, silver, black, what was it?
Can't remember.
Can't remember. Don't know what was on the screen of that, right? Can't remember. Did he have more than one phone?
Don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay. Now, you claim that at some point, and we've heard about this before, and you've testified about this before, where you claim that Abdul and Kareem had called Hakeem to say that they were in the area, right?
Abdul and Kareem.
I'm sorry, I have it as Abdul Jr. / Kareem. So let's just keep it as Kareem, because that's the same person, right? Kareem, you testified to before, called Hakeem. Kareem called Hakeem to say that they were in the area, right? That phone call never happened?
Hakeem called Kareem.
Okay, so now your testimony is that Hakeem called Kareem, right?
Yeah.
So that should be on Kareem's cell phone records, right?
Should be on Hakeem's cell.
Should be in Hakeem's cell phone records, right?
Yeah, he called.
He called. So, well, when you call on one and someone receives it, it's going to be on each person's phone records, right?
All right.
Now, I want to talk about something that you testified to today for the first time, and I want the jury.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain, just ask the question without commentary.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you testify on direct that you witnessed a phone call between Raekwon Howard and Dominique Barner? When Mr. Cooper was asking you questions, right?
Yeah.
He asked you, did you see Hakeem Robinson make a phone call to Raekwon Howard while you guys were in the parking lot?
Correct.
And you said yes, right?
Right.
Now, in this case, you sat just for us 3 separate depositions, right?
Right.
And these depositions weren't short, were they?
No.
You were deposed by all of the attorneys for over 9 hours, right?
I don't know the exact hours.
But it was on 3 separate occasions,
Right.
and we had to actually break it up into 3 because each day we went till 5, right? And we ran out of time.
Right.
Each attorney for each defendant painstakingly went through very detailed questions, right? Step by step about what happened, right?
Right.
And you never once mentioned in any one of those depositions to any of us in the presence of Joel Cooper that you saw a call from Raekwon Howard on Hakeem Robinson's phone. Did you?
Well, they already knew that.
Say what now?
They already knew that.
Okay, they know that from Raekwon Howard. I'm talking about you. When we are sitting down and asking you questions, you told us so many details about every single thing that you did, right? You even remembered this phone call from Hakeem to Kareem, right?
Right.
And we would ask you questions. What happened next, right?
Right.
Miss Slacks at one point even had to say to you, Mr. Barner, I don't want a situation to show up where we are in a courtroom in front of 2 juries and you say something we've never heard before, right?
Right.
And the first time that any of us have ever heard from your mouth that you witnessed a call from Raekwon Howard to Hakeem Robinson was today, right? You've said it before?
Yeah.
Where?
I told the state.
Okay. Oh, okay. So let's talk about that. You told the state when I wasn't there, right?
Correct.
You told the state when Mr. DeCoste was not there, right?
Right.
When you told them?
I don't remember the exact date.
Did you recently meet with the state attorneys in preparation for your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times did you meet with them?
All right, let me see court report on counsel at sidebar.